We're going to put these 5 flagship phones through a benchmark test side by side and see how they fare in terms of their CPU, GPU performance, battery performance, and also how hot they get comparatively to the other phones. 4 of the phones are flagship Android phones, and we have the iPhone 11 Pro in there as well, just to see how that fares against this new crop of flagships. Firstly, we have the Realme X50 Pro 5G, one of the first Snapdragon 865 phones, and also one of the first flagship killers of 2020. Its main rival, the Redmi K30 Pro Zoom Edition, also rocking the flagship chipset and a low price to boot. The Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro is an out-and-out flagship phone these days, slightly more expensive than the other two, but rocking the same Snapdragon 865 chipset. Moving on to the iPhone 11 Pro, this is the only phone not with a Snapdragon chipset. It of course has Apple's custom-built A13. It also is absolutely tiny compared to all of these Android flagships. Then we have the king of Android flagships, I guess you would say, the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Snapdragon 865 and a 120Hz panel, plus the biggest phone and the biggest battery out of the lot. So let's see how the flagship killers fare against this flagship phone. All of the software is updated to the latest versions on each phone. I've also gone and put high performance mode on the phones where it is allowed. I've kept the 90Hz refresh rate on both the Realme and the Xiaomi devices. And I've also kept the 120Hz refresh rate on the Galaxy S20 Ultra. All phones are set to a full HD resolution. I think this is how most people are going to use the phones, so that's what I've done. The phones have been allowed to sit at room temperature for about an hour or so without being used, so it can be as fair as possible. And we'll see how much the temperature changes throughout the test. We'll fast forward through the test and just show you the results of all the phones. When it comes to the temperature performance of all the batteries, we can't get a result for the iPhone on the iOS version, but it seems like the Redmi and the Realme did best. When it comes to the CPU scores, we've got the iPhone in 5th apparently, Samsung 4th, and in 1st place actually is the Redmi K30 Pro, a little bit ahead of its more expensive brother, the Mi 10 Pro. And moving on to the GPU scores, actually this one is a lot closer. We see the Realme X50 Pro in 1st, with its rival the K30 Pro in 2nd, and the Mi 10 Pro in 3rd place on this one. In the memory score department, the Realme X50 Pro is 1st place yet again, and again 2nd and 3rd taken by the two Xiaomi phones. iPhone apparently in last place on this one too. The Redmi K30 Pro apparently 5th in the user experience test, and yet again the Realme X50 Pro scores a 1st place. The Mi 10 Pro this time in 2nd, with the Galaxy S20 Ultra in 3rd place on this one. They were much more even in terms of how much battery they used throughout the test, coming in at 4%. The battery on the Realme X50 Pro is a bit smaller than the rest, and so used just 1 percentage point more. The CPU temperature on the S20 Ultra increased about 10 degrees centigrade during the test. The others about 9 degrees, and the Realme X50 Pro again in 1st place. That CPU just increased about 8.5 degrees. So there we have it, the total score in the test, and the Realme X50 Pro has actually broken through the 600,000 barrier. It beats out the other Android phones by a small margin, the Mi 10 Pro in 2nd place, the K30 Pro in 3rd place. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and videos. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.